Okay, so let's just go over the spread very quickly, and if there are other things that falls out, then I'll, pull more cards. So at the center of the spread, we have here the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups is a situation where it's like crying over spilled milk, but I don't really like that cliche definition of it, because what I do sense here is, based on this interpretation, based on this deck alone, it is a situation where you're kind of like comparing your life with another person's life. You're comparing your situation with another situation that you feel can be available to you out there, okay? So looking at a situation and wishing, it's kind of like that, wanting the greener pastures, comparing yourself with another person and wanting what they have, okay? Be careful with this energy. Be careful with this energy. Everyone is like, I guess like it's human nature to want more than the next person. And it's also human nature to be tempted and to like see somebody else's life and wish that were yours. And it's human nature to always want what we can't have as well. So what I'm feeling with this card here, and especially at the heart of the reading, is there's something that you have here that is really good for you in this present moment. You might be ruminating over something that you had in the past. You might be like stuck in the past, and you're not making a decision to move your life forward. So once again, this is a little bit of an inner conflict playing out, okay? In the past position, we have the Lovers card, and the Lovers indicates a situation where there are choices and actions and consequences as well. Is linked up here with the Seven of Swords that decided to fall out. So it is dealing with a situation where we have been unscrupulous, where we might have pursued somebody, or somebody might have pursued somebody else while they had another relationship going on. So this is like hiding information on the love front, dealing with somebody who was quite unscrupulous and they didn't tell you the whole story, or being in a situation where you might have taken somebody for granted as well. So what I'm feeling is, for a lot of you, you might be dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. That could be their sun, moon, or rising, where you or them were kind of hiding the truth, or you might have had two options, they might have had multiple options, and working together as a unit has been very difficult. So then you might have hedged your bets, they might have hedged their bets with other people. So I feel like that's what's coming through in the past. I feel that there's a process of learning here. You've learned from this situation, and you're ready to kind of you're kind of like at that threshold where you are taking the next step. If you have left the situation behind, you are taking the next step into the next phase of your life, okay? The foundation here is the situation on which everything is built upon. We have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. What I'm feeling here is the King of Pentacles deals with like a real estate agent. So I'm feeling as if a lot of you might have joint property, and you're not in love anymore, and you realize, I can't stay in this type of a relationship, but there are financial considerations, possibly property. The property, if it's a property, I feel it freeing up. So you might sell the property, you might let it go, and you might be able to emerge and extract yourself cleanly forever, possibly by the end of the month, going into September. So that might come through. A lot of you might be in a situation where you're putting your life on hold. You're waiting on some type of communication, some type of a certainty from this person. So this is an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I'm feeling that they have options. Okay, I'm feeling like they might have multiple options. So if you're waiting for a commitment, I feel that you're putting yourself out there and you're telling this person, I do want a commitment from you, but I don't feel that they're going to be able to give you a commitment. So this is a situation, a lot of you might have been dealing with an earth sign where you're looking back at this situation and you feel as if they deceived you, you feel as if they deceived you, and you feel as if they weren't being truthful, honest, and there was more to the story. And I feel like this is not something that's coming in August. I feel like you've always known this, and you were waiting on some type of a commitment, and it didn't come in the manner that you'd hope, okay? Crowning this reading, something that you're thinking about. We do have here the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is a situation that is very conflictual. This is wanting to engage in a battle, wanting to like have the last say, wanting to like confront another person, wanting to feeling quite upset and angry, and wanting a situation to like wanting, you know, that closure, wanting like to communicate with someone and giving them a piece of your mind. I feel like that's what's happening here. And I feel like the other person might be non-responsive. They might just be completely out of the picture, and you want that. You want some type of a confrontation. You want some answers. But you feel like if I were to engage with them in conflict, um, it's not worth my time. So I feel like a lot of you are stepping over to the next phase of your life, because what's coming through here, we do have the Three of Wands. It echoes the same theme as the general reading for the Three of Wands, which is waiting for your ship to come in, sending out vibrations, positive manifestations to the universe, and getting options that are coming through that might be very, very good for you. Okay. I feel like you have a lot of fire signs coming through in the picture. You have some options that you have some people that are coming through that are very interested in you. And I do sense that you're being a little bit more delicate and more emotional, and a little bit more like you're putting your walls down. So whatever this situation is, it has taught you a lot about how to, you know, not be on the defensive, not to stay in a relationship too long, not to invest yourself in a person that with withheld affection, or that was not stable for you. So you might have been like a third party. Somebody might have like be in a marriage situation. You thought that marriage was going to dissolve, and you stayed and stayed and stayed, hoping that they would turn around and acknowledge you. And I feel almost as if in the future, you're not going to put your life on hold in that manner. And you're also going to free yourself. And you're doing so in a way where the people that are coming through, you're going to have more of an emotional connection with them, because you're starting to feel like it's time for me to heal, and it's time for me to open up to new possibilities. Okay. I'm going to see what's going on here with this King of Coins. We have the Sun. And the Sun indicates a situation where it's almost like that childlike innocence, okay? You might have had fun with an earth sign, and that's all it was, okay? And you thought there was, for some reason, I'm feeling like this person really rocked your world. They might have a very great sense of humor, and they might have provided a lot of, I feel like, insights. They might have like I feel like they're very financially abundant, and they might have provided the good life, okay? Like there was a lot of travel, a lot of movement, a lot of fun, exciting experiences, a lot of new energies associated with this person, and you felt like they were the center of your world, and understandably, that's why you put your life on hold. And I feel as well, in the past, if you were stuck in a relationship, a lot of it has to do with finances, and you couldn't find a way out. As a result of your financial situation getting better, now you realize that, okay, there's no incentive for me to stay in this situation anymore because I'm not happy. So with this newfound of financial success, you are moving ahead with your life, okay? Um, I'm getting a little bit of a heartbreaker energy with this person. So this earth sign might be somebody with a lot of, I feel like status conscious. I feel, I feel somebody with a lot of suitors, and I feel like somebody who is just, you know, a little bit of a heartbreaker. So I'm sorry, Geminis. See what happened in the past. Yeah, we have the World in the reverse. So I feel like some news that came in possibly July that really shook your world, and you kept yourself on hold. You were holding out on this person making you a commitment. And I feel like some truths being revealed about this person, it made you very upset. But you're going to be like, I'm a bigger person. I'm going to move on past this. They don't really deserve my time, and I'm not going to give them the benefit of like engaging them in conflict and having them give me some more BS, explanations. So I feel like this is somebody that you really had high hopes for and you really liked quite a bit. They really shook your world when this news came to light. And I see you moving on, Gemini. So, I commend you for that. That takes a lot of strength. And for this to happen within, 1 month's reading, well, you bounce back pretty quickly. But I do feel, that you were actually very much invested. So we have the Chariot here. A lot of you might be moving into a new situation that is a lot more successful. Okay. So if you were the one that is, you had like, two options running, you might have been involved with somebody in the past, well, two people in the past, and one person proved themselves to be like not trustworthy at all. I feel like a lot of you are immediately shifting your energy into the other person. There's nothing wrong with that if you're not committed to either of them and they are aware of this. So I feel like you're bouncing back so quickly because there is another option on the side. And I feel like you might have a fire sign or a Cancer, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, or a Cancer in particular. Let me see if I can. There is a clock here and in this card, and let me see if there's a time limit or like a definite amount of time. I do sense some movement happening for you either way, and I feel like that's going to be very good for you. Okay, so what do they need to know about this new venture? Yeah, somebody is like dropping the ball, somebody's juggling. So I'm going to say this, Geminis, if you are the one that is juggling, okay, if you're juggling two people, and whenever, so, Geminis is known as the twins, and a lot of Geminis have two things, two jobs, two boyfriends, two girlfriends, two houses, and two pets, things like that. If, for example, you were like hedging your bets and you were supposed to be dating both people exclusively, but they didn't know about each other, and one person let you down, and then you would go to, the next person. I feel like you want to be very careful because you might drop the ball and end up empty-handed. Okay, so that's just for those of you who are specifically juggling two people and when you're not supposed to. So I do feel there's that element of picking one thing, sticking with it, okay? I feel like that's going to be a lot better for you. In terms of people who are in stable partnered relationships and things like that, I do feel taking a trip with your sweetheart is going to be able to rejuvenate and re-inject passion in your relationship. I do sense discord in the past, possibly like dealing with a situation where the relationship has been very stale and you're comparing your current relationship with those of your friends, your neighbors, and you're just and other newlywed couples and other new couples, and you're just like, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Why can't I have the relationship that I want? Well, a lot of it has to do with our own ability to bring and attract and to also create the relationship that we want. And like a lot of people, they tend to get into a rut because they stop working at a relationship. And it's easier to just fantasize or step outside of the relationship rather than fixing something. Because we tend to take our relationship partners, especially if we've been married or been together for some time, for granted. And we feel like they should put the effort in. But, the effort to maintain and to consistently build up a relationship, it's an ongoing effort. And a lot of times if you've been with somebody for a few years or even like been married for a few years, you feel like the foundation is laid. I don't need to do any work, but there's constantly, as with everything in life, there's constantly maintenance work that needs to be done, right? Like for your house, even though it's stable, you still need to repaint every few years or so. You need to check the roof and do some gardening, weeding, and things like that. There's a lot of maintenance work that you need to do in your current relationship. And I feel that it's easier for you to just tell yourself, well, there's other options for me. Why don't I just bounce around and step outside of the relationship? Well, that's a wrong way of looking at it. Everything requires maintenance, requires work, it requires effort. And this is an ongoing thing, okay? So don't take it for granted. I feel like taking a trip with your significant other will really revive the relationship. Seeing your partner in a new light is coming through. Unfortunately, I feel like it can be negative or positive, but either way, I do sense that a lot of you, there is some type of a pull from your external environment, and you might feel like it's a karmic soulmate connection with somebody outside of the relationship, but I want you to re-examine why you are keeping yourself stuck. Just keep that in mind. Is it because of financial reasons, or is it because your heart is still very much invested in this relationship? Okay. So a lot of things to think about, Gemini. It is also a very emotional month as well. Be rational about this. Okay.